A tense confrontation outside of an East Side Ross store was caught on camera and posted to social media.
The video is raising serious questions about what customers and workers should do if they witness shoplifting.
13 News reporter Ariana Ariza has more on that video and what police are saying about it.
Video of this dangerous encounter has left many people shocked. You can even hear the shock in the voice of the witness who captured this whole encounter on a video. Now, experts are advising people to not intervene if they see someone they suspect is shoplifting.
Oh my God, what the hell is going on?
As you can see, the witness captures a suspected shoplifter walking away from the Ross storefront with multiple bags. In the background, the store's alarm is blaring. That's when a bystander walks up to the suspect, pulling out what appears to be a handgun in an attempt to stop them. I asked Tucson police about this video. They confirmed that they are using this video as evidence for an active shoplifting investigation. They said that when police arrived on scene, the suspect was already gone. No arrest has been made. And since this is still an ongoing investigation, they cannot further comment. So I reached out to a criminal defense attorney, Louis Fidel, to learn more about the legalities of this situation.
It really depends on the details, but there is a statute that authorizes people to display or use a firearm to prevent certain crimes. Shoplifting is not one of those crimes.
Fidel says anyone who points a gun in this scenario risks being charged with aggravated assault with the deadly weapon. He says introducing a firearm into a property crime is incredibly dangerous, putting the public, the bystander, and the suspect at risk of death over retail items. But what are employees trained to do?
Large corporations and most of the small ones have told their employees do not engage. Their lives and their safety is more important to us than the product.
Almer says violence against loss prevention is on the rise, and if a customer intervenes, the situation can become more dangerous. She says stopping customers from playing hero has recently become a much bigger challenge, stressing that retail stores are packed with surveillance cameras, meaning shoplifters, especially repeat offenders, are already being tracked on high-definition video. But if you see something, let a worker know. I did reach out to Ross for comment, but they have not yet responded. But despite this scary situation, TPD was able to share some good data. They say that property crimes, including theft and shoplifting, has actually been down 2.9% compared to this time last year and down over 20% within the past 5. Reporting from downtown Tucson, Ariana Ariza, 13 News.